Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you for joining me today for my TBR game for April. So as I said, today I'm going to be playing my TBR game for the month of April. My TBR game is called Roll of Reeds and it is very, very loosely based on Dungeons and Dragons, more specifically based on the combat and the way that role-playing and combat work. So if you'd like to know the rules and gameplay and everything like that, then I would go and watch my January TBR game, which will be linked down below, so that you can get an idea of how all that works, because I do go through and explain everything in my January TBR. So yeah, today we're going to play the game, figure out what we're going to be reading for the month of April. Before I do that though, I do need to let you know what, if any, books I am going to be needing to try and fit on the TBR. First of all, we have The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the second book in the Poppy War trilogy. I'm reading this as part of a read-along which is being run by myself, Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and Steph from Coffee Over Apples. I will link my Discord, which is where we are doing all of the discussion. Sorry, that was a cat just jumping off furniture. I will link my Discord, which is where all of the discussion around the books are taking place. We will also be having a live show on either myself or Bethany's channel. The live show for the Poppy War was on Steph's channel. I will link both of my co-hosts down in the description below as well, so you can go and subscribe to their channels because you should. They're fantastic people. Anyone else that I talk about will also be linked down below. I also I'm supposed to be potentially doing a buddy read with my friend Alison of Among the Burning Flowers in April and May. So I will probably not put it on the TBR just because we're usually fairly relaxed with our buddy reads. So I don't want to have it count towards punishments and potential punishments and or rewards, because we'll probably finish it in May. So those are the two books that I need to read. I'm just trying to think if I have any other books. No, those are the two books I need to read that I'd like to, well, the only one I'd like to get on the TBR is The Dragon Republic, but I do need to read it regardless. And yeah, that's that. So now we need to determine whether or not I start out the game with a reward or a punishment. So for each preceding month, all of the books that I put on the TBR for each of the prompts either help me to get a punishment or a reward, or a reward, I should say. So let's go through all of the books that were on my March TBR and see how I went, so that I can figure out whether or not I need to start the game by pulling out a reward card or a punishment card. I think this is the order that they went in. So first of all, I had to have a punishment because I didn't finish all the books for February. The punishment was to roll over an unread book from my previous TBR, from February's TBR. So I chose We Solve Murders by Richard Osman, and I am halfway through listening to that. Although punishments don't really count, so I'm not sure why I told you that. But anyway, I am halfway through, so therefore it will work. I should finish it by the end of March, but if not, I have to have been halfway through either way. Then I got the reward of free book. So for this one, I chose Pride and Prejudice, which is a part of a different read-along that I am part of, which is the Jane Austen and Friends read-along. It is being run by myself and some other booktubers. That is also being run out of my Discord, so that is linked down below if you'd like to be a part of it. We did read Pride and Prejudice, and the next one we'll be reading is Anne of Green Gables. I am about halfway through Pride and Prejudice, so again, I should finish that by the end of the month. Then I got the prompt to read a book that involves a journey, and for this one I chose Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb, and again I'm reading this for a read along, and that is a read along that is being run by Bethany over at Bethany's Beautifully Bookish Bethany, whose channel is linked below because she's co-hosting the Poppy War read along with me as well. And again, I'm actually over halfway through this book, and I definitely will finish that by the end of March as well. Then I got the prompt book battle, so I had to choose two different books and then roll 2 different dices to see which one was the one that I was actually going to read. And the one that won that battle was Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, but I didn't read that book, unfortunately. It is the 21st, I think. No, 23rd today. So I have got a week and a day. So I could say that I will at least have read half of this by the end of the month. But given the books that I've just told you I'm halfway through, I think it unlikely that I would get halfway. And I don't really want to start a book just so that I can count it as a reward, because I need to finish those other books. I think they should be my priority. So unfortunately that means I have to get a punishment for that one. So realistically I don't need to tell you anything else, but I will just say that I did also get the prompt of mental or physical health rep, and for that one I chose my book club book, which is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. So my book club is once every quarter and I choose a theme. This month was BIPOC author, and then everyone votes on 4 books that I pick. So the book that won was Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a middle grade horror, and I read it. I had a good time with it. I thought it was well done. Again, that's when I run out of my Discord, so I will link that down below, as I've said, and I did read that one, like I said. So unfortunately, I do need to get a punishment, however. Yeah, that's everything you need to know before we go ahead and play the game. So let's go ahead now and play the game, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, let's get the board set up. We will pop the permanent prompts down first. So 1, 5, 10, 15 and 20, and shuffle the standard prompts. We have our very helpful pistachio. Excuse me, sweetie. Can I have the board? The board? Hello. Sorry, pistachio. Shuffle the punishments. And shuffle the rewards. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is pick a punishment. And we have roll over an unread book. That's exactly the same one that we got last month. But as you saw, I did actually shuffle them. And with Pistachio's help, we will do roll number 1. And it's a 1, which is out of our comfort zone. And then we need another punishment. Rowan picks a punishment. All right. Thanks, Pistachio. Roll number 2 is a 12. Goodreads recommends. Okay. Thanks, Pistachio. Oh, so helpful. Okay. I don't even know where that card went. Oh, well, I guess we're replacing it. This is going to be interesting. I don't even know where my dice... Are you lying on the dice, Pistachio? Can I... There we go. Okay. Roll number 3. 17. Try a chapter to pick. Okay. And roll number 4 is 8, which is basically right under Pistachio. Okay. That should be 8 there. 2 or more people on the cover, suggested by Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. Okay, back to book picking, Mel. Okay, so first thing I got was my punishment card for having not completed all of the books on my TBR for the month of March. And the punishment card that I got was the same one that I got for March, and that was roll over an unread book. So I'm going to roll over the book that I just mentioned that I won't be starting, which is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is the second book in a duology, a fantasy romance duology, and I read the first one I think in like October or November last year, and I'd like to read the second one before it completely goes out of my brain. I quite enjoyed the first one. I thought it was quite well written and interesting. The magic system was really, really interesting, so I'm excited to see where the story concludes. So in this book we are following, or in these books, we are following our main character Elsbeth, and Elsbeth has a secret. It's a secret because magic is considered not a great thing in this world. It's considered something that is picked up by people who have experienced this disease, and the disease gives them magic. So people with magic aren't considered to be ill, basically. But also the nightmare comes from a card which is called the nightmare card, and it's like a set of tarot type cards, and that is how people who don't have sicknesses gain magic. It's a little bit confusing to explain, but like I said, I thought it was really well done. The magic system was really interesting, something quite different that I've not really come across before, so I'm interested to see where it continues. And yeah, that's going on my TBR as my punishment book, which was to roll over an unread book. The first prompt that I got was one of the permanent prompts, which was on the number 1, so out of my comfort zone. And because I rolled a number 1, which is considered to be an epic failure in D&D in combat, I then had to pick up another punishment card. So the punishment card that I picked up was Rowan picks a punishment. Rowan is my partner. He's at work, so I've messaged him and asked him for a punishment. He's obviously at work, so you know, he's a bit busy. So hopefully he'll get back to me sometime today, or he'll tell me tonight. Rowan has decided that my punishment will be that I need to read a book upside down, and I'm not 100% sure how exactly I'm supposed to be doing that. But he did say that it's open to interpretation, but essentially I need to figure out a way to read a book upside down. We did discuss that I could read like a short book or a novella or something, or a short story. Yeah, so very random, but that's what I get for including Rowan in this game. But as my out of comfort zone book, I have chosen to read Terry Pratchett, A Life with Footnotes by Rob Wilkins. This is a book that I'm actually really interested in reading. This is a biography of Terry Pratchett, who is one of my favourite authors. He wrote one of my favourite series, which is the Discworld series, and unfortunately he has passed on. But yeah, I'm interested to read this book. I'm interested to find out more about this really amazing author, but it's out of my comfort zone because nonfiction just isn't really something I reach for. It's not particularly in my wheelhouse. I do read it occasionally and I do enjoy it when I read it most of the time, but yeah, it's just not something I reach for, and I often feel a little bit intimidated by it. But yeah, this is my out of comfort zone book, which is a biography of Terry Pratchett. Then I got the prompt Goodreads recommends. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go onto Goodreads and see if I can find a book. Hopefully one that I own, but if not, then a book that I at least can access or I'm interested in reading. So let's have a look and do that now. Okay, so I am screen recording, and I'm going to go to the recommendations section on Goodreads and see what they recommend. A lot of these are kids' books because I've been reading a lot of kids' books recently. All right, what I might do is I might go to just a book that I have read. I rated The Poppy War 5 stars, so we'll go other readers also enjoyed, and we'll look at what readers also enjoyed. All right, I don't own any of those. I own Bureau Bones at the Midnight Soul, but I've read it already. Don't own any of those. Read The Priory of the Orange Tree and Dungeon Crawler Carl. Read One Dark Window. I almost bought Pure Nessie the other day, but I didn't buy it. Alright, let's try a different book. Alright, I enjoyed Opium of Absence, so let's see what it suggests based on Opium of Absence other readers also enjoyed. I've not heard of any of those books, but I hadn't really heard anyone talk about Opium and Absinthe either. Alright, I guess we will go to Fool's Quest. I was ignoring the Robin Hobbs because they're rereads for me, but I love them. So let's see what other people enjoyed. Brendan Sanderson. Well, that is a Way of Kings book, and I've been meaning to reread The Way of Kings and then continue with the series. The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, The Will of the Many. Drop of Corruption, which is the second book in a series, and I have the first one, so that could work. I've heard great things about this series by Shauna Lawless, but I haven't read any of them. I don't own any of them, I should say. Okay, I think I'm going to go with A Drop of Corruption, except that I'm not, because I'm going to go with the first one, which is somewhere on my shelf. The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. So I actually did start this book a while ago, but I didn't get very far into it. I think I read like 20-30 pages, but I was enjoying it. I thought it was quite interesting. So this is a bit of a genre blend. It is a fantasy, but it is also a murder mystery, and it is in quite an interesting world, a world where there are leviathans, and there are like these giant fungi, mushrooms, and a world where people are augmented to make certain traits more big. I don't think that's what I'm trying to say, but anyway, certain traits just to make them able to do certain things, and so we are following sort of like the Watson character. This is like a Sherlock Holmes sort of ish story, and we're following the Watson character, who is the helper. I'm losing words today. The sort of sidekick, we'll say sidekick, to the Holmes character, as you'd expect, and he has been augmented so that he can like remember everything that he sees and remember all the details. So he turns up at this murder scene of the crime, and then him and his partner Anna are trying to solve the mystery. I feel like that was a really, really bad explanation of this book, but I don't really know all that much about it. I know it was incredibly popular. People are really, really enjoying it, so I'm excited to give it a try. The next prompt that I got was try a chapter to pick. So the book that I have chosen for this one, or the books that I've chosen for this one, I've chosen 4 books that I will try the chapter of, and I will then decide which book I'm most in the mood to read, and that will be the books that I'll read, and I will make a vlog of this, so it'll go up sometime, potentially in April, potentially in May. We'll just see how we go. I've got a few different things I want to try and get up in April, so we'll see how we go. But the books that I have chosen for this try a chapter vlog thing, I am going with all books that I have acquired relatively recently. So I acquired 2 of these at Christmas time and acquired 2 of these actually very recently, so I haven't even put them in a haul for you yet. But the books I'll be trying a chapter of and seeing which book I want to read the most. So I do want to read all of these books. I'm excited for all of them, but the book that I want to read and that I will read this month for my try chapter, I have chosen the Book of Heartbreak by Ove Seren. This is a book that I was given for Christmas by my friend Michelle. This is a fantasy book. I think, yes, it is a fantasy book set in our world, and we follow our main character, Sarah Silverbirch, who was born under a cruel curse. Her heart can only break 5 times before it stops beating forever. 4 fractures already scar her soul, 1 more will be the end. So yeah, it sounds really, really interesting, really cool, and I love the cover of this. I'm excited to give it a try. Then I have The Enchanted Greenhouse. This was also given to me for Christmas by my friend Michelle, by Sarah Beth Durst. This is the second book in, I don't even know what the name of the series is, but the first book was The Spell Shop, which is a book that I really, really enjoyed. This is cozy fantasy. This is set on an island in this fantasy world, and we are following Turlu. Turlu Perna broke the law because she was lonely. She cast a spell and created a magically sentient spider plant. As punishment, she is turned into a wooden statue and displayed in the great library of Elysium. Then years later, she's sent to an island where there are magic greenhouses, and when she wakes up as this statue, she knows that she must help because the magic that sustains the greenhouses is failing. But yeah, I loved The Spell Shop, thought it was really, really well written, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one, so that is an option for my try chapter. Then I have Brigands and Bread Knives, and unfortunately I've just realised that I've just broken just torn the cover. That's a shame, but anyway, because I literally bought it like on the weekend. Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry. This is a book in the series, which I think is just called the Legends and Lattes series. So this is also cozy fantasy. We follow, in the first one, Legends and Lattes, we followed an orc named Viv, and Viv has retired from adventuring and she is setting up a coffee shop. And in this book, we follow a character who she met in the second book, the prequel, called Fern. Fern is a ratkin, which is this guy here, or this woman here, this character here. And this is about Fern trying to find a new life for herself, I think. I'm really disappointed about that cover, but anyway. And then the final book that I am going to be trying a chapter of is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. This is I think it's a fantasy romance. I love Alex E. Harrow's writing style. I've read almost everything she's written. I've heard really good things about this. Like I said, I love her writing style, and this was sent to me by my sister Carol for my birthday. So thank you very much, Carol and Michelle. Those are the books I'll be trying a chapter of and figuring out which book I most want to read for April. And then my final prompt is 2 or more people on the cover. So I could say Brigands and Bread Knives. If I don't end up picking that for my try chapter, I could just insert it here instead, because it does have, as you can see, 3 people on the cover. Yes, 3 people on the cover. But the book that I chose for this one, outside of potentially Brigands and Bread Knives, is The Lovers by Yumna Kassam. I feel like this might also be a little bit out of my comfort zone. This is literary fiction, I think. What happens when we become used to each other, when we become bored, when we anticipate each other's moods like the seasons cycled in a day? What happens when you're tired of me and I tire of you? This was sent to me as a gift by Amy. Thank you very much, Amy. And the prompt was suggested by Tracy, so thank you very much, Tracy. I put this on my wish list because someone else was talking about it in a video. I cannot remember who, and they made it sound really, really good. So I thought it sounded good and I wanted to give it a try. But since I've picked it up, something about it makes me feel like it might be slightly out of my comfort zone. But we'll see how we go. But yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, we'll see how we go. It was shortlisted for the Miles Franklin Literary Award. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, so that is my TBR for the month of April. Those are all the books that I have placed on the TBR, that I need to read or would like to read. So, I'm going to go through that now and just do a quick debrief, and then I'll go. As I've mentioned, I do also have the Dragon Republic that I need to read as well, which I wasn't able to fit on the TBR, unfortunately. That is quite a thick, chunky book, so we'll see how we go with the rest of them. But anyway, let's bring those up now. This is a TBR that is slightly bigger than it, looks bigger than it actually is. My first book is actually my punishment book, because I didn't complete all the books for last month, which was to roll over an unread book. So that is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. Then Rowan Picks a Punishment is the next thing that I had to pick up as a punishment, and he hasn't done so yet, so you will have seen what that is already, but if it's to read a particular book, I'll let you know about that as well. The first proper prompt that I got was out of my comfort zone, and I ended up deciding on Terry Pratchett, A Life in Footnotes, which is by Rob Wilkins, which is a memoir, not a memoir, a biography of Terry Pratchett, and it's out of my comfort zone because nonfiction is out of my comfort zone. I don't read it very often or feel particularly compelled to. Goodreads recommended, I ended up going with The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. Try chapter to pick, which accounts for the heaviness of this tip here. I'm going to be choosing between these four books here. So they are The Book of Heartbreak by Ova Saren, The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst, The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, or Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry. And then the final book that I have on my TBR, the final prompt, was Two or More People on the Cover, and I've gone with The Lovers, which as you can see has 2 people on the cover. By Yumna Kasab. So yeah, that is my TBR for the month of April, and that is the end of the video. So let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these books, or what you thought of them, if you're reading any of these books in April. Let me know if you'll be joining any of the read-alongs that I mentioned previously, or jumping into my Discord just for general chats, which you're welcome to do as well. Let me know all of that in the comments below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me some kind of fantastical emoji, because we have quite a few fantasy books, as you would probably suspect from me. So leave some kind of fantastical emoji in the comments below. And yeah, that's everything from me today, so thank you very much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.